So there's another Steven Universe PSA, and personally, I don't think it's as bad as the last one, but I still want to talk about it. I understand in my Steven Universe is Stronger Than You Think Part 2 video, I said I was done with Steven Universe completely. But that's because I thought the show was cancelled and gone for good. Unfortunately, I was wrong. I was right that it was cancelled, but it's not done for good.
All right, class. Can anyone tell me who invented the light bulb?
Thomas Edison!
That's not entirely true.
That is correct. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb on his own. He did work on the light bulb, but pretty much every invention from the 18th century onward was worked on by a team of scientists, not just one. No one person can create a modern-day cell phone, but a team of scientists can create a good processing chip.
The light bulb could more rightfully be attributed to Latimer, the black inventor behind the filament inside the bulb.
His invention made light bulbs affordable and efficient enough for the general public, bringing electric light into households around the world.
That is incorrect. The light bulb was already invented by 1878. He did not start working for the lighting company until 1880. Now, he did greatly improve the light bulb, and technically so did Thomas Edison. Plenty of light bulbs were invented before Thomas Edison even got started on it, but most of them weren't really all that good. Should we contribute the invention of the smartphone to the guys who made Gorilla Glass? Don't get me wrong, he greatly improved the light bulb, and I am happy you're talking about his accomplishments. He does deserve more credit. But unfortunately, you can say that about all scientists. Do black scientists matter? Absolutely, but all scientists matter. Who's the first man to land on the moon? Neil Armstrong. Now name one single NASA scientist who worked on the rocket. Exactly. The reason why Thomas Edison was given credit for inventing the light bulb was he invented the first light bulb that was actually practical, and he was extremely good at marketing it. Remember roughly 8 years ago when everybody was saying that it was Tesla who did all of Edison's work? And everybody was talking about how he was trying to give free energy to the world. And we can't do it now because we don't have his level of intelligence. Even though plenty of scientists nowadays are far smarter than Nikola Tesla, and his free energy idea required the Earth to be a solid object with a frequency, and his math was completely off.
Wait, is that it? Hold on. We're not going to mention why he invented the filament? To create a better standard of living for people who had only just been freed from slavery?
Okay, did it improve the lives of black people after they were freed from slavery? Yes, because it improved the lives of every American citizen? Because it was cheaper and more efficient? Did he specifically do it to improve the lives of black Americans after they were freed from slavery? Maybe. Yes, he did fight for black people, but I found nothing that says he specifically made the filament to improve the lives of black people. But I hate the way she said, slavery? Guys, slavery is taught in schools all the time. It's ingrained into American history. Fucking everyone knows about it.
These textbooks are incomplete. There were black Roman warriors.
Were there black Roman warriors? Technically, Rome was a big country and had a lot of territory in northern Africa. And in northern Africa, there's a lot of race mixing, but I would say they were closer to Arabs than they were to black Africans.
Black medieval knights, black classical musicians, black cowboys, black fighter pilots. Where are they?
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but what's more important is that the girl from Owl House is canon in Steven Universe. But in all seriousness, all these things are already taught. If you played Red Dead Redemption 2, you would know there's black cowboys. There were also Mexican cowboys, Native American cowboys, and even Chinese cowboys. People know there were black fighter pilots. There were fighter pilots all over in World War II. And it was known as World War II. World. People from all over the world were fighting in it. Are we taught that black knights are a thing? Yes! In one of the stories of King Arthur's knight, this one knight fought this other knight and he discovered that knight was his half-brother. And his half-brother was biracial, although they didn't fully understand what biracial was back then, so parts of his skin are white and black. I always pictured him looking like a zebra man.
Vitiligo, maybe?
But here's the thing, the reason why you see knights, cowboys, and all these other people depicted as white is because the overwhelming majority of them were white. How would this even be taught in schools? These are knights, brave warriors who fought for England and many other countries. They were above peasants, but only slightly. They were basically the Navy SEALs of their time. Also, a few of them were black.
I worry about you humans because you only live, about 100 years? You rely on these stories to know your own history.
Wait, we learn about our history to learn about our history? My mind is blown. I love that the black guy and the woman are smiling, and the fat white guy looks so nervous, even though he's clearly the director and he put this whole thing together to begin with, so I don't know why he looks nervous.
Thanks to systemic racism.
Wait, that's systemic racism? What?
Most of your storytellers prioritize white accomplishments, which leaves you with an incomplete picture.
This is a white majority country, so most of the accomplishments are going to be made by white people. In every grade, students are taught about black history, but they're taught about the big ones. George Washington Carver, Martin Luther King. They're not talking about, some black cowboy or anything like that. How many of you watching this video can name a real historical cowboy? I'm guessing it's Buffalo Bill, and that's it. Of course humans don't have a completely clear picture of history. There's only so much we can learn, so much we can pass on, and only so much evidence to look through. Are we supposed to talk about every single last black inventor, or any and all accomplishments of black people? There are also black samurai, but I'm still gonna picture an Asian samurai because the overwhelming majority were Asian. When I think of a slave owner in America, I think of a white man. But if you want to include black men in everything and tell the full story, then we will also need to talk about black slave owners, which there were a lot more than most people think.
Ask yourself as you're learning history, who's telling the story? Was this modified to make white readers comfortable? Are major details being left out that would credit people of color and center their point of view?
I don't know. Is it? Was Black History Month invented to make black people feel more comfortable? You know, if you want to talk about an actual, really great black man who's underplayed, talk about George Washington Carver. Most people you ask about George Washington Carver will just say, "Oh, him, he's the guy who invented peanut butter, right?" Which he didn't. The technique we use for making peanut butter nowadays was invented by a Canadian man. And yes, his version of peanut butter was created before George Washington Carver's version of peanut butter. But saying George Washington Carver invented peanut butter is an insult to his legacy. George Washington Carver was an absolute genius when it came to agriculture. He discovered that peanut plants rejuvenate the soil, while cotton plants kill the soil. Thanks to him, there's plenty of more food to go around. After all, the first culture is agriculture. But because he didn't do something cool like be a knight and raid a village and kill people, who cares about him, right? A knight is way more important than a guy who has saved millions of lives.
Honestly, I should have asked for script approval before agreeing to do this.
You can say that again.